Thank you all for having spared your time to come and attend this event. And I must start off by saying that I'm overwhelmed that such eminent scholars even considered going through my book and chose to speak about it. It wouldn't have been possible but for the gentleman who's sitting here, Mr. Dhawan, Hemant, and my dear friend Vivek Sahai, who made it possible. Hemant, as usual, has been too generous when he was talking about me. I'll come straight to the subject. What triggered off as a major journey for me to write this book had its genesis in one of the sanskara ceremonies. Sanskar, as we all know, is an integral part of Hindu's existence. At one time or the other in our life, every Hindu observes at least one, if not more, sanskar. So this occasion was when my nephew's daughter, who was barely 1 year old, was undergoing the tonsure ceremony when the head is shaved off. And that happens normally when a child is about 1 year. And when the child was crying and my nephew started saying, no, don't shave off the head. And I intervened to say that if it's to be a sanskar, then we have to go through this ceremony. But if it is a happy gathering of the family to celebrate the first year of the child, then that's another matter. And it all started with a comment from my wife at that time who said that he has all the time in the world to read so many books about so many religions, but he doesn't have time to write something very simple about what Hinduism is. Because none of my nephews and nieces who had gathered there had a clue what shaving the head has to do with the sanskar. And once I explained it to them, I realized, much to my horror, that my own children and my nephews and nieces, all of them have received reasonably good education. They have been to foreign universities, they have done their MBAs, their engineering, etc., etc. Their idea of Hinduism was so perceptional. There was no substance insofar as they are concerned in Hinduism. For them, Hinduism meant a priest coming to perform Satyanarayan Puja, mumbling something in Sanskrit which no one understood. I'm afraid not even the priest who was conducting it half the time. Or at the time of wedding, when the guests have had their fill and they're preparing to go back home, then in a corner, there is this mandap where only family and very close friends stay back, and the ceremony is performed. Vivah sanskar, panigrahan sanskar. Neither the groom nor the bride understand a word of what is happening. Everyone is egging the priest, "Jara jaldi karo, please hurry up." So for us, what is real substance? That sanskar, that has become secondary or even tertiary. What is important for us is the cocktail party before that, the mehndi ceremony, the dancing. And the Hinduism is getting reduced to that. So that's the time I decided that I will try to write a book which if a layman read, he will at least have information about Hinduism, that great tradition, that 5,000-year-old tradition. And he will at least begin to understand why we do what we do in the manner we do. So this is how this journey started. It took me about 7 years to finish the book. I have tried to refer to some of the great scholars. I have tried to read some of the original scriptures. My Sanskrit is very weak, so I had to read most of the things in English, I'm afraid. There must be several errors. I was trembling when I went to Professor Thite with my book, because I thought he'll find a book like this full of errors. But I'm so immensely pleased that he and other panelists have overlooked all those errors and omissions and have chosen to come here and give us this great pleasure. Thank you all very much. Please, sir.